for Coach.me. Thank you so much for joining us. With this being our first one, we'll be figuring out some things as we go along, looking to be flexible and just connect with each other, share questions and ideas, and see where this takes us. We'll do these each Thursday in September for sure, and certainly more after that as we need to. But wanted to just get the conversation started, and this seemed like a great way to do it. We use Hopin for our habit coach certification graduations, and it's a platform that I really think has a lot of potential for us and the Coach.me community. So I wanted to experiment with it more. So thank you so much for being here. The format will be mostly chat-based for our questions. And so if you can, go ahead and say hello, post a comment in the chat, and let me know that all of the technology is working okay. All right, let's see. Are we seeing the chats? Oh, there we go. Leo, great to see you too. Let's try something fun here. There we go. Very cool. Leo, missed you too. Thanks so much for being a part of our community. We've got Leah in the house. Thanks so much. We've got Valentina. Hey there. Hey all. Oh, we've got Felix too. Very cool. Good crowd. Thanks everybody for being here. Great to see your pictures if you have them in your profiles or just recognize familiar names. Awesome to have you here. If there's any questions that are pressing on your mind, just hop them in the chat and we'll get to them. I've got a little bit of an agenda planned of just some things that I thought would be helpful to share. But questions absolutely take priority, or comments or thoughts. Definitely meant to be interactive, and lots of discussion planned for this. Hope everyone got the email that we sent out over the last weekend, about some of our upcoming projects in September. It's absolutely prime coaching season, as we call it, as folks get ready. You know, the kiddos are going back to school or they're going back to university, and it feels like a prime time to get restarted on our habits. So this is a great time. Excuse me. It's a great time for coaches to re-engage and just get involved in lots of conversations, whether online and off. And so as a Coach.me platform and community, we absolutely wanted to celebrate that. All right. I had asked Nathan Sudds to join, be able to answer some questions as well. So we'll see if we can get that link sorted out. There'd been some comments in our Coach.me Discord wanting to hear from other coaches. And we planned this on a bit of short notice. So there's plenty of folks I'd like to ask, but I knew Nathan was likely available on short notice. So he'll be joining us for a little bit today to chime in on that. All right. So before he joins us, some fun things. Oh, here we go. For coaches from Leo, let's display this question. Good stuff. There we go. So Leo asks, for coaches wanting to improve their coaching, are the certifications the best way? Would love to see a YouTube channel or content for coaches. Yes, Leo, agree with you 100%. I think the first words that come to mind are all of the above. So absolutely, we believe the habit coaching certification is a great tool. It focuses first on the craft of coaching, and making sure that we are first and foremost solid habit coaches. We think that's an excellent front door to coaching or a complement to an existing coaching practice. There's also, we talk about this in the early weeks, the potential for blisters with coaching, which means some things that maybe rub clients the wrong way. In habit coaching certification, we talk about how to avoid those, how to heal them if they start to happen. So absolutely believe in the value of the certification. We think that keeping the clients you have and getting referrals from existing clients is also really the ideal way to grow a coaching business. And so being a great coach is fundamental to that. So certainly certification is something that's been a passion project for a long time, and we believe in it. Also, to your point, we're absolutely going to have more content for coaches, working on the exact format of that, whether it is a YouTube channel or more than likely, I think it's going to be a podcast, some sort of a recurring rhythm that we then push out on all the channels. Absolutely, YouTube being one of them. So I'm curious what your thoughts, Leo, would be on that. Hey, Safa, welcome. And I'm going to go ahead and bring Nathan to the stage as well. You guys keep pushing the questions out, and I've got a few questions that I wanted Nathan to share as well.
Hey, Kendra, everybody. can can you hear me okay or no?
We can. We've got you. Thank you so much for joining us on short notice. I was mentioning to the folks here that kick these off kind of quick, and I knew you keep some flexibility in your schedule and always willing to jump on and be a support to other coaches. So thank you so much for making time to be here.
No problem at all. My pleasure. I love this community, and I love. I mean, as you know, you were my mentor when I started coaching many years ago on the Coach Me platform, and helping me down that journey that you're now helping everybody else. And now you're, running everything and taking the lead. And I'm excited about that. So it's amazing.
Yeah, who knows where a decade will take us, right? So been an exciting,
Exactly.
an exciting time together. Safa, I want to put a pin in your question. We're going to get back to it. I think that's a great point. And you guys keep going with chat and the questions. Nathan, one of the things that I get asked so much in the Discord, or just in one-on-one conversations with coaches or small groups is, why be a part of the Coach.me community? Why,
Mm-hmm.
not just the membership, because I think the membership, we strive to keep it really affordable, but why use the Coach.me platform? And guys, we haven't rehearsed this, and I'm okay with whatever Nathan says. We haven't planned this, but I'm curious for you, because you
Yeah.
have been here a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your response to that? Why is this community something that's meaningful to you and that you still participate in?
For sure. For sure. Yeah. I mean, from the very beginning for me, I think the real value of the community, which I originally thought it was like going to be just bringing me clients, like, oh, good, I'm going to be able to get coaching clients, I'm going to learn, whatever. But it really, for me, it really came down to being a part of the community, and like having the ability to tap into other coaches in the network and in the Discord and all that. At the time, we were on Slack, and so it's a combination. It's actually like there, and also with the new training, which was really not there in the beginning. Even without that, it was really valuable. But now it's even more valuable. I see how much work you're putting into the training, and so for me, the real thing is the platform gives you that credibility. It gives you that ability to like the verified reviews and things like that are really helpful, because people, they don't know if a review's on my own website whether it's really real or not. But when someone's paid and actually put in a review and it's put through the Coach Me system, it gives it a different kind of level of verification that makes people feel comfortable. And then I just love the community aspect of it. Like many of the coaches asking questions like, "Hey, I ran into this problem with my business, like the coaching business. How can I get to the next level?" Or, "I've got this client and I'm kind of struggling with how to handle this thing. What would you do?" And then bunch of different coaches jump in with like, here's what I do when that happens, or here's some things you can try. And so you don't have that. And I mean, in some networks, sure, you could maybe find that in some places, but what's really interesting is everyone here is trying to level up. Like I came to this platform originally because I was trying to level myself up. And my feeling is that coaches who are like working on their own personal development and then working with their clients on their personal development, it's really good because you've got two levels of understanding. Like, what do I do for my own life to work on my own stuff? And then like, what am I doing with my clients to help my clients? And now I've got, I've coached probably, I think over 1,000 people on Coach Me. And just like every time you work with someone, it just gives you more experience, more understanding. And like one of the challenges when you don't have clients is like you don't get to practice what practice what you've learned, especially if you get certification or you've done some training. It's like, how can I put it into practice? How can I actually use it? And so to me, that was like a testing ground for me, just like getting clients, working with chat coaching. And chat coaching is so different. So like not everyone knows how to do that or knows how to teach that or work on it. And Kendra like really helped me in the beginning. Like here's the key points where you need to, take that point and help the client go forward. Here's the point where you need to ask for your review, because when the client's feeling good and when things are going well, really just check in with them and get a chance for them to put that review on your profile. And that helps you to get more clients, And so it's those nuanced things that we don't have if we don't have somebody else working with this. And like Kendra said, we didn't rehearse this. She just asked me to join and be here for the AMA, because I think what's really important is coaches helping coaches, right? Like, and that's the thing. Like when the CEO is also a coach, and Tony is coaching as well. So like Tony was a coach who understood coaching, and that's why he was able to bring the platform to where it is. Kendra has a different kind of understanding of coaching and is taking it to the next level in this way that it's where it needs to go now. And so I've been really excited about just having you do that. I've talked a lot here, so maybe step back. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, I have ADHD and I coach on ADHD. And so I could just sit here for another 4 hours and talk about this topic. So I'll stop for a second and maybe see what other questions or what you have to say, Kendra.
I love it. I just love your energy. I mean, I think it absolutely comes through.
Thanks.
And tell us, one of the things I love about the Coach.me community is just our diversity in every way you can be diverse. But one in particular, I feel like I get to time travel. So tell us where you are in the world right now and what time it is.
I literally just landed in Bangkok earlier today. I've been in Thailand for almost 3 years now during the pandemic. And so it's 9 p.m. right now here in Thailand. So I just literally checked into my apartment, and we're going to be here for about a month. And just got my computer set up and said, Kendra, I'm joining. So that's why I was a little bit late, because I'm just coming off the plane coming into Bangkok. But yeah, that's the other thing. The global element of it is there's people all around the world. I've coached people from all over. Even on my website, I have a little map with like people from all over, and a lot of them are Coach Me people that I've kind of pinned on the map because it's from everywhere, which is amazing, And it's also adds to the challenge and the experience. So like when you get a chance to coach in a global community, you get challenged, right? Like new things. Like, how do I explain this to someone where English is a second language potentially, or how do I explain this to someone who's from Europe and like I don't really have the same understanding of all the same things. So it's I'm from Canada originally. So.
I love it. I don't know if you see Leo's comment, have a mango sticky rice. Absolutely. I think I would go back just for
Yeah.
that. Okay, so we have a few comments I want to share. Leo, another awesome member of the community, and I may recruit you, Leo, to be on for a future AMA. I think a lot to share.
Mm-hmm.
So get exposure as a coach. Leo, if you want to chat more about that, I would love to hear more. And again, we'll probably ask you to come on too. Valentina added coaches helping coaches bingo. I think that it's something we absolutely try to do, and it's at the spirit
Mm-hmm.
of all that's about us. Okay, I want to go ahead and get these semi hard questions in early.
Sure.
And I'll take a stab at this too, but I'd like to hear your answer
Mm-hmm.
first on the and I'll take a stab at how it's worded, but this notion of how much should coaches look to Coach.me or the directory to bring new clients, and just how do
Mm-hmm.
you even think about that as a
Mm-hmm.
coach? What are your expectations? How do you answer that question when it's posed to you?
Like the main thing I think is my goal with when I'm working on my own stuff is like I want multiple streams of income. So I look at like Coach Me as a stream of income that and a way to bring in new people. It's not my only way to bring in new people, and I'm not saying it's. And I think when you're getting started, every stream of income that you can bring in, every line of connection to clients is amazing. And I think I've also see people go to my Coach Me profile, then they go to my website, then they go to somewhere. They look me up on Facebook. Like they're not going to one place. And so sometimes even if they go to your website, they might look you up and they find coaching, they look around, they see the reviews. So it can bolster your main presence, and it's also a good way to get people directly. And I've got lots of clients that came through Coach Me. For the last little while, I've been very busy with stuff, and I had to turn my profile off for a while because I just couldn't handle more clients at the moment. But I think the main way to look at it is like it's also a testing ground. For those of you that maybe play around with landing pages or A/B testing and things like that, it's a great place to like test your offers and your ideas. Put something in the directory, see if it gets a bite, see if somebody signs up. If they don't, make some changes, try again, see if you get someone. Like it's not it's not a guaranteed thing where you just put a profile up and suddenly you're going to get bookings. There's lots of things Tony originally put into the mix to try to help people get bookings, and it sort of changes the ranking a little bit to highlight people so that it shares the wealth sort of thing. But I think it's always a work in progress. Like I often will change things on my profile and just see what happens and try different stuff. If I'm experimenting, I'll get someone to sign up and go, that was interesting. So I changed the wording, and now I got a different kind of person signing up than I was getting before. And so I would just treat it as a training ground for yourself, experimenting, and then also as like one of your streams of income, and use it as a process for that. And the better you are at messaging, what people really want, because you still have to do the work of like, what does my client really need? What does my customer really need? Or who am I really trying to target? And get that wording right in the directory, because people are going through the directory, and in some ways there's some competition, right? Like a lot of other people there, but in other ways there's no competition because they're looking for something specific. And if you really understand what they're looking for, you can stand out in your space. And there's more than enough clients for everybody. Like when it comes down to it, it's not a zero-sum game. Like I get a client, that doesn't mean you'll get one, and vice versa. We're really like working on like how can you yourself down. I know Kendra does some of this in the trainings too, trying to help you understand how to make your profile, what your target audience is, what wording is going to appeal to them. And so if you're not getting clients, chat with us in the Discord too. We can look at the profile. Other coaches can say, and I've seen this happen many times in Slack before we moved to Discord, especially people just asking like, hey, can you review my profile and give me feedback on the wording? We're happy to do that. Like as coaches and people from the Coach Me team and stuff too, jump in and say like, oh, maybe try this or maybe try that wording. And that's something that we can do together. And that's, again, back to the coaches helping coaches thing. It's like, if I figure out what's working, I'll post in the Discord and say, hey, you know what? I tried experimenting, and if you see my profile, I have like a free or like $1 trial call. I don't know if I have it on my profile right now, but I've done it many times because I like talking to someone. For me, when I talk to somebody, that's where the connection is. And I would rather than trying to land a client via chat, I would just rather get on a call, give it to them for free, really see if there's a good connection there, and let them decide if they want to work with me more. And then they can go to my profile and see my monthly packages and all that. And so you can experiment like that too, same kind of thing.
All right, we've got some awesome questions flowing. I want to ask you one question, then I'm going to jump to some of these great questions coming in. When you say you experiment and you make a change on your profile, give us a ballpark of how long you would expect to see from making a change to even beginning to see a little bit of what kind of time frame do you think in?
That's a great question. That's I think it takes time. So I will make a change and I'll just sort of let it sit there and see what happens. Like I'm not expecting tomorrow somebody's going to sign up, on this new thing I created. But I'll give you an interesting example. I'm really into virtual reality, and I keep thinking like virtual reality would be an amazing place to coach people. And so I put on my profile something about, you know, coaching in VR, like a coaching session in VR. And somebody saw that. Like, I think I did it like a month ago. And a week ago, I think it was a week or a week and a half ago, somebody reached out and just booked me directly off the profile, $150 for the hour, because they love this idea of coaching in VR. And then I did a session with them, and went really well. And then they had some other people from their team book another one with me and did another one. So there's $300 that I got, or not me. It came in through Coach Me, so, you know, obviously it's splitting it, but it came in, and it was like I didn't do anything. All I did was experiment with the changes on my page, and it was just kind of cool to see that happen. Again, if you go into the profile and you add like packages and stuff, you can put them as hidden, and you can link to them in other places. So if you don't want it on your main profile, you can make a hidden one, and then you can link to it on your own website, or you can link to it on Twitter, that kind of thing. So you can really experiment in different ways, whether you want to keep your profile clean and just try some other ones that you link privately out on Twitter or social media, or whether you want to put them on your profile and just see what happens in the directory too, you know?
Beautiful. Thank you. All right, let's take some of these questions. And Leah, I'm going to take yours in reverse. I think you've got two great questions. And Leo asks, should you ask the question in the chat box or the Q&A tab? Leo, I think this chat box is working beautifully. I'm going to be honest. I don't know where the Q&A tab is. So I'd love to keep it here. My learning curve on Hopin is still a bit steep, but I think we're figuring it out. Okay, so Leah asks, where in the Discord would we find that channel to connect with coaches? And all right, I'm going to try another. This is always scary when you try things live, but I'm going to try to share.
Gonna try to do some screen sharing.
I'm going to try to screen share. Let's see if we can do it. All right, let's see. How is that showing up? All right, I think we did it. Okay, so you're seeing inside, I use an app called Shift to manage all of my different email
Nice.
and Discord accounts. So Leah, you're seeing inside Shift. That's what the far left column is. This all the way over here is Shift. But in here starts Discord. You can be a part of a number of servers. The one for Coach.me and Medium authors is called the Upside Club. And we're going to explain that better too. That'll be a good one. But the main place I would guide you to is this coaches forum. It's a new feature we added a couple of weeks ago. And Discord is so much more affordable than Slack, frankly, which is why I think you're seeing a lot of communities move to Discord. But there were some great features of Slack that originally Discord left behind, but is now figuring out. And so, and Nathan has been instrumental, and Bear and Cherry, in helping us figure this out. Cherry was a huge advocate of making sure we added back the Q&A section. So go to this coaches forum, and then you can pick in any of the threads. So one of the ones that Cherry was really excited about is this looking for a coach. This is where if a client comes to you and you don't feel you're the best to help them, you want to find another coach to refer them to. You actually get a commission for doing that as well. And it's another bond in the community. So this is one section in the coaches forum. And here's how we would start it. Leah, I'm going to take your next question, and but I'm going to post it here. Any ideas for getting new clients? We're going to say new post. This is a test coming from our live AMA. More to follow. All right, so I'm just going to post that there just to get it going. But Leah, that's an example of how you could post your great question. So I'm gonna click over to your next question, which was, I'm kind of in a hangover phase. I graduated. My practice clients are done. Now I need to get paying clients help. I love this question, and we're going to answer it now. But you can also ask it in the forum at any time and get ideas from other coaches on how they might do that. You might post a link to your profile, and really the community does kind of take over. It may take a day for time zones. Folks are really spread out. So sometimes I'll post something, midday my time, and wait till the next morning to really go look at it. So I do give that of a caveat. It's not instant. We've got to give time for time zones to help us out here. But this is a way to use the Discord to connect with other coaches and to build our businesses. All right, let's see any other. Okay, so I'm going to unshare for a second and let's answer.
So I so badly want to answer that question
Okay, jump
that was just
in.
on the screen.
Jump
Like,
in. Go for it.
just to highlight on it. Like, if you're getting started with clients, one of the things that's maybe a little bit nerve-wracking, a little bit challenging, but it's probably the best source of new clients, is to do something within your own network, your own community. Tony was a big proponent of this idea too, and there was a coach in the community who posted something a while back that I really loved. I think Justin Light, was the coach, and what he did was he put together a little forum to capture people's email addresses and name and some notes about what they wanted. And he posted on his Facebook basically saying, "Hey, I've got 2 spots for new clients, and here's what I coach on. Here's how I can help you. And if you know anybody who'd be interested, share this to them, or if you're interested, go here and sign up. And I'm going to pick 2 people, and I'm just going to, I'm going to give free coaching or something like that." And he ended up with like 84 people in his form that filled out that wanted these 2 spots. And of course, he could only pick 2 spots because that's what he said he had available. And he picked the 2 people that seemed like the best fit for him to coach with. And then he had all these other people that he could like reach out to and say, "Hey, I already filled the 2 spots, but if you wanted to talk, or you want to connect, and maybe there's an opportunity, we can still do some coaching together." And I'm also a big fan of Rich Litvin. I don't know if everybody was familiar with him, but he's got a book called Prosperous Coach, and he really he really promotes the idea of just getting out there and having powerful conversations with people, because that's where you create the opportunities. And so don't be so focused, in my opinion, don't be so focused on money in the beginning. Focus on impact and like helping people. And what's going to happen when you have that powerful conversation and really help someone, the next thing they're going to go is, okay, what's it like to work with you? Like, how does this work? How much is it, or whatever? And it's what he calls like sort of the menu approach, which once you give somebody a powerful experience of what you can do, then they want to know, like, how much does it cost? What does it look like? How does it work? And then you just have that ready for them. Like, whether it's a little bit of a conversation or whether it's a link that you say, okay, here's my packages, have a look, and don't rush anyone into it. Really just let them marinate on, like, hey, we had this great call. Don't rush into thinking of, well, what do you want to do? Take this, here's my menu, take it back, think about how this call went, how you feel about it. If it's a good fit, here's my packages, let me know, and I'm happy to work with you. And I think I always highlight this one thing that he says: needy is creepy. And in the beginning, it's very hard as a coach who's getting started not to come across a little bit needy and like extra, like, oh, I want to land this client, I want to close this deal, I want to get this something happen. But just try to lean back a little bit in it and just be confident that if it's a good fit, that person's going to want to work with you. And even if you give an hour of your time, that's you practicing your craft, your skill, and you'll get better at it. And you'll know when you have that conversation and you see the gears turning for the person and their eyes light up, and they get to the end of the call and they say, "This was great. This was really helpful. Like, how can we do this more? Like, how can I work with you?" So that's the thing I would say. Maybe you need to make money right away because there's bills to pay and things like that. Maybe look at how can you create more streams of income in different ways, so you don't feel too much like you have to land every client you're talking to, so that you can really feel comfortable, not pushing someone into it. Because I've been that client pushed into trying to, sign the dotted line for some coaching thing, and it doesn't feel good. And I've worked with a lot of clients who have been the one pushed into it, and they had they like trying to work with me was uncomfortable because they thought I was going to do that with them. And when they saw that I was like, "Hey, take this away, marinate on it. When you're ready, let me know if it's a good fit. If not, I'm really nice to meet you, and glad, and hopefully it helps you on your journey." And people relax a lot more. They're more comfortable. They can make a decision for themselves, and they don't backtrack on that decision because they haven't been pushed into it. So that's my thoughts on that. Just as an example. So.
I love
Leo's reading the book. I see Leo's reading the book too. Good stuff.
I love the examples and the resources. I think that's we can do another book club channel if we want to. I think that's always something I've wanted to do, and read books together and talk about them. And so thank you for taking the first stab at that answer. We actually talked about this in our coaches master. I think the more conversations you're having about coaching, the more folks are gonna say, "Oh, I want that," directly. Excuse me. I'm up here in the mountains, and this girl that lives at sea level. It's challenged with the lack of humidity here, but it's beautiful. But my
I've got more than enough
anyway,
humidity I could send your way. Oh my God.
yes. Well, I'll have it back home, back at Air You Can Wear. Yes, but it's wreaking havoc on my voice after 3 days of being at a conference. Conversations. So whether it's online or off, or both, or even doing things like, going live on your Facebook, recruiting 2 or 3
Yep.
friends and getting them to ask you questions about coaching or about how you think about coaching, and going live and having folks, jump in the conversations of doing that. How can you put yourself in situations where you are going to have more conversations about your area of expertise? So whether it's your habits, whether it's coaching in general, Safa, whether it's productivity, Leah, whether it's writing, whether it's, and I know Leah was in the last HCC cohort, so I feel like I know a little bit about where she's headed, and really helping people reconnect with their purpose and live lives that matter. Where can you get in more of those conversations? Where do you see that taking place? Both in now that some places or we kind of have these waves where we can do in-person things again, or online, and with the Coach.me community being so international, I think we trend to more online, which is nice. And then we're resilient, and it's a place to connect, even when, we were all on we were all
Oh.
on lockdown. It was a fabulous thing. All right, I want to get to more of the questions. There's a couple around the ideas of training. Safa asked one really early. Looking forward to a certification on accountability coaching, which is, going beyond the chat coaching. How do we layer on? Ramon calls it hybrid, and I love that. We may come up with a different word. I think I'm going to have Ramon on next week to talk about
Okay.
how he structures his coaching packages. I think it's really innovative, Safa, and I can see us building on that and offering an additional training package that goes beyond habit coaching. And I want to take Leo's
Cool.
question.
I love that Leo. I love that Leo's inspired to jump in the Discord now. I'm thinking that Safa too, like your question about what other books do you recommend, that would be a perfect one to drop into the Discord as well. I'll definitely jump in and get some replies in there as to some books that I like. The coaching habit by Michael Bungay Stainer is another good one. And what else is his key question that he always asks? And what else? Like, if you don't know what to talk to the client about, just go, oh, and what else? And just keep pulling it out of them until you get to the bottom of it. So, anyway.
Yeah, share more about that, or tell me more about that, is a great
Exactly. It's a
tool.
key question. It's super powerful.
Yeah. All right. So Leo's got a great one here. What are training recommendations to master my tools and workflows as a coach? This is awesome. I think this would make a great thread. So Leo, I think there's a few different layers to this, right? I think there's kind of the habit science that is fundamental to the momentum method that we use at Coach.me, that we really believe in. And Tony's written on it in the past, and I'm going to build on that. I'm working on Erno would call it a white paper. Here in the U.S., we might call it a manifesto, of why coaching matters and why we believe in this particular philosophy of coaching, which I would say is life change through habits that we really believe in. So I'd say the first layer is that, and habit coaching certification is maybe a half to two thirds that. So if you haven't done the habit coaching certification, And I actually just closed it, but Leo, talk to me if you want to jump in. I might make an exception because we're in the second week. You'd have to really pick up the pace, but I hate for you to have to wait another few weeks if you're really ready to do it. So there's that. There's the craft of coaching, like how do we translate that habit science, what we know about how habits are really the human superpower, how they work with our brains to help us
Mm-hmm.
execute the changes and the goals that we want to, and how we use chat coaching to provide that is really the bulk of what we
Mm-hmm.
teach in the habit coaching certification. And then what Saf is talking about, going beyond that with the virtual coaching. I loved what you said about VR, really going beyond and having that deeper connection. I think we'll absolutely add at a minimum some AMAs like this where you can learn from experienced coaches and then build that into a curriculum maybe at the start of
Mm-hmm.
the year. And then to Leo's question, our workflows, how do we organize ourselves as coaches? I think that would be another great topic. Leo, maybe we'll do an AMA just around that, and we'll get clients or coaches to share some of the ways that they do that, because there's the marketing workflow, the how do we connect with people, the connection
Mm-hmm.
workflow. And then there's, once they're a client, how do we provide, and the word you used earlier, spectacular coaching. What tools do we use to provide spectacular coaching? So we can certainly continue to share more on that and build those into training programs. HCC was intended to just be the beginning, so we certainly want to build on that, and these ideas will help. All right, let's see.
I would say one more thing about what Kendra was saying there. I know Kendra really wants to improve the tools that we have as far as the software of CoachMe goes too. So that's something that I think is a really important part of the future of it, is just like making sure the tools continue to support and continue to improve. And I've already heard her talking. I'm sure she's probably, I'm just going to say it here because I know that she's probably want to wait until she's got some things improving down the pipe. But I do think that it's important for coaches to know that she sees that improving the tool is also going to be part of that workflow improvement, right? And there's other things we can do outside of Coach Me, but the more Coach Me supports us as coaches is even better, and it already supports us really well. I think it can go even further, and I see that she's already got a vision for that, so it's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely at the top of my wish list. But to get to those wishes, we've got to execute on the dev team transition. I'll share
100%.
a little bit of background. We've referenced it a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stubblebine was the founder and CEO of Coach.me. For its entire existence until July, so until about a month and a half ago, where he got the opportunity to step into the CEO role at Medium,
Mm-hmm.
which I would say at this point almost feels like a sibling to Coach.me. Certainly
Mm-hmm.
another tool that many of us use. And so he was excited about that opportunity and asked me if I was interested in being the CEO of Coach.me. Absolutely, I was, and I've been. Really, you think about the describing the elephant, and maybe I knew about the tail and the trunk, but now I'm learning all about. I'm learning all about all the platform and the back end. We've got a dev team that started and is working through that transition. And if anybody's ever really changed the whole leadership team at a company on the whole dev team, it just takes a little bit of time, but we're moving through it at a good clip. We've solved some great some challenges in the last couple of weeks, and we're
Mm-hmm.
moving through it. Leo, this is it. Right now, this is the best
Yeah.
way to share feedback. This in the Discord. You've got
Mm-hmm.
you've got all of our full attention, and we're working through it. We've got a little bit of just a transition period to work through, a little bit of backlog of some maintenance things that we know we need to do, and then we'll be on to new features. But the Coach.me team is
It's
is
been great to
relative
see you. It's been
is
great to see you putting that into action, Kendra. Like, I mean, I just want to say, I know that probably, it feels a little differently when you're at that lead point. You want to get further than you are, but I really think it's been amazing seeing you get that up to speed and get the right people in there in the mix and see it move forward. And I'm excited for where it's going. So yeah, that's why I brought it up, because I know that, that for me as a coach, that's an important part for me, the platform, continuing to grow. And I know that, Tony wanted to do that too, but he had other focuses, and I think he picked the right person to take this to the next level. So excited about that. And Leo, I love your suggestions there already too.
Yes.
We're going to be chatting in the Discord. We're definitely going to be chatting in the Discord of all these ideas for sure.
Love it. No, I'm gonna consolidate them into a feature request page where we can upvote and comment and really, as we get into that development mode, really decide which features are most supported. Stripe Connect is near the top of the list where we can
Yes.
really accelerate that payment pipeline. I know that's a big deal for coaches. It's a long time now. So we're working on that. The video and audio upload, 100%. Leo, you're on the money on some things that really lots of coaches have asked for. But to your point, what's the best way to share ideas or feedback? Come to these, participate in these, and the Discord. Or if folks want to email me, Kendra at coach.me, it's absolutely available to you. But I'm not going to do this alone. There's absolutely none of this that can be done alone. So I'd advocate that you put it in the Discord and let's really let the conversation build around that. If you've got a great idea, and I trust the team, both the actual team and the adjacent team, the folks that are just really believe in our community, to help refine that idea and rank them. So I would say, come join us here. I'm committed to do them weekly in for at least the month of September. But if we really love them, heck, we'll keep them going. This has been I wasn't sure what to expect, but this has been a lot of fun, and I could see making this something
great.
to do a whole lot more often. So this in the Discord, keep them coming, and I'm pretty. I'm pretty unfiltered just as a person in general. So you'll get the straight, scoop. Often there are things we want to do, but we can't quite get to it just yet. But I think we'll pick up steam here pretty rapidly. I'm going to scan back and just see if we missed any other questions. I think we've covered all the key questions so far. You guys keep them coming. I thought of a couple books that came to mind on that. Katie Milkman's How to Change was another great one, a quick read, and it did a great job.
I'm adding this to my Goodreads now.
Yeah, it did a good job of taking science and explaining how to apply it in a coaching context. And it gave 5 or 6 really great examples of how to do it. And I think it teaches us how to think about how to do it, so that we can even go beyond that. So I'd add that one to the list as well. And again, it's a really quick read. James Clear's Atomic Habits is fabulous, but boy, you've got to have some time available to really dig through that one. But How to Change really consolidated a lot in a short amount of time. So good stuff. All right.
Very cool.
Yeah, and you guys feel free to hop in and out as you need to. I didn't even mean to use it there, but maybe hop in is great for that. Yeah, come and go as you need. We just want to have a place to connect.
Glad you're here. Glad Sapo was here too.
And jump right in. Let's see. Just scanning back through. What else would be cool to show,
Nathan?
So many. Anything you can think of that would be, you know what? Let's show your profile. How would you feel?
Sure.
How would you feel about showing that and that example of the $1 package? I think there might be some folks kind of interested in that. Let me get it up. What's your URL?
It's just coach.me/Nathan Sudds. I think. Yeah. I don't think there's any dots in it. I should know that off by heart, but
That's all right. All right, let's show this.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And then
do I have the $1 to try there right now? If not, I can turn it back on. I sometimes turn it on and off.
Yeah, you've got the virtual reality one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that'll be a that'll be a good example. But let's just share it just like it is. And let's
Cool.
see. Yeah, let's share this just like it is so folks can kind of see what we're talking about there. And you're talking about these $1 packages. So talk about how you use those.
Yeah, I've often edited packages and created something where I tried to create an entry point. The way I look at it is someone has to get in the door in order to really know what I can offer. And sometimes it's like coaching is a interesting kind of relationship. Like you don't just work with anybody. And if you've ever tried to hire a coach, you don't really want to go into it saying, oh, I'm going to spend $150 and not know what I'm going to get. And it's really hard in text to really explain yourself. If you can put a video there, that's good. But even the video is like kind of a general thing. It doesn't really say my specific problem or my specific challenge. And so what I've often done is I've created this $1. I'd make it free if there was a way to do it, but because of the way things are set up, like a payment needs to be made. So $1 has been fine. Lots of people have done it. It's pretty interesting. And I get on a call with people and I get a really good feel of what they need. And I don't do a sales call or anything like that. I just put it into people. I say like, let's just get the coaching. Like people, a lot of people using Coach Me, it's their first time being coached. Like to be honest, yeah, or maybe Coach Me was their first time, and now they're on their third Coach Me coach or something, trying another person. But because of that, it gives you kind of a clean slate to work with too, right? Like they don't know what coaching looks like, so you can decide that for them, and they can experience it the way you do it. And so what I normally do is just say, this is how I work. Just tell me a little bit about what's going on right now. What's on your mind? How are you feeling? And then we get right into coaching. And then by the time that $1 call is over, my goal is that they've had some impactful realization, whether it's unpacking something that's been problematic for them, or maybe getting some insight on what the next step is for themselves. And that's all I'm really looking for is that aha moment where they really connect with something. And then once they do that, it's like, okay, that was great. Like, what does it look like? And then I have the other packages there, and I've actually simplified it more recently. I used to have like packages with names, like do yourself package, and the other one was 4 weeks to I think it was 4 weeks to a better life ADHD or something like that. And so I've been doing that for a while. I thought, I'm just going to change it to weekly call package, bi-weekly call package. So when I send it to someone after the trial call, it's very easy for them to know, oh, I want to meet up every week, or I want to meet up every bi-weekly. And that's actually part of my conversation at the end. If somebody says, what do you recommend? What's it like to work with you? I just say to them, well, we just had a pretty deep call here. How long do you think you need to process that call that we had before you're ready to kind of start on the next thing or check in about, the progress you've made? And they'll sit and think for it a bit and they say, you know what, like, I think if we don't talk next week, I'm just going to let this slide. I'm not going to think about it. It's going to be gone on my mind. And so I want that accountability. Let's talk next week again. Or they might be, you know what, you gave me a lot to chew on here. I think I need to kind of put some things into action, see where I'm at. I need 2 weeks. So a bi-weekly cadence feels the right thing for me. Like, okay, just sign up for that package when you're ready, when you feel right. There's a bi-weekly package. I can't tell you if this is better yet because I just started experimenting with it. But like the naming packages probably really connects with somebody in a certain place in life. If you get the name right, it's really good. But if you're already connected with them, you've made that, that they've already seen that it works, it's a good fit. All they need to know is, what am I getting? How many calls do I get for this price or whatever it is? And so I think just experimenting with that is part of my I love kind of playing around with it. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I go, you know what, I should have put it back to the other way. And sometimes I talked about this a little earlier. You can actually hide it. So if you've got a package that's working, but you want to try something new, just hide it on your profile, start a new one, and then see if that one does. If you want to go back, you just unhide the other one and hide the new one. So that's just a thought there.
So, Nathan, do you mind if I share your backend of?
No, go ahead. Whatever you want. Yeah, I probably got a big mess of like all these packages.
Show how people toggle how people.
Sorry, I'm talking.
No, I just want to show folks how to do that.
Yeah, sure,
Oh,
go
you're
for it.
good. You're good. You've shared so much. So I just wanted to show folks this is the back end. So this is Nathan's
Hmm.
back end, and you can see the coaching packages, and you just toggle them on and off here. If you go to edit,
Yeah.
you just toggle them on and off between show and hide, right? And so you can still link to it privately if you want to do that, or you can show it on your
Hmm.
profile. So that's where you can really experiment with
Yeah.
all kinds of things, and maybe we'll dive into that on
Yeah.
another call. But I just wanted to show folks exactly where they could go to we kept talking about hiding
Hmm.
and
This
unhiding
is,
and experiments. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a good
good
place
point.
to
The other thing that's
play.
the other thing that this is good for. So I'm talking over you, partially ADHD and partially the Wi-Fi. So the other thing that this is good for is if you decide to change your coaching package pricing, but you've got people already on the plan, you can go in, hide the plan, make a new one at the higher price point, and your other one can keep referring to the client. And so you can change the price and have a higher price on your profile, which I highly recommend increasing your price on your packages from time to time because we get so set in our ways on how much it is. And another good book, actually, it's more for freelancers, but I still think the title is really great. It's like Double Your Freelancing Rates. And it's like doubleyourfreelancing.com by Brennan Dunn. He's a consultant. And he focused on the fact that a lot of times we're underselling ourselves, undervaluing ourselves. And so test your own test your own self and challenge yourself on whether or not you're not charging too little. I know I am. I always am charging too little. So I'm one of those people. I'm always like trying to inch it up a little bit or kind of experiment with different pricing. Or what I ended up doing was not necessarily raising my prices, but bringing it down to less calls for the same price. So like, if I'm doing like 400 a month, and before I used to be doing 4 calls for that price, I've bringing it down to 2 calls for 400 with like the chat coaching unlimited. And so just kind of like experimenting with prices that work for you, but also don't be afraid to kind of see what happens with an experiment like that, because you might get the same amount of signups for like a different price with different commitments on your side. Sorry.
Love it, love it. All right, I was trying to multitask and add a new thread I would try to add a new thread in the Discord to kind of keep this momentum going. So we've got just a few minutes
Sure.
left, and if there's more questions, go ahead and put them in. We'll try to fit them in. But I want to guide the conversation to a couple follow up actions that I'm going to ask you to take. Because I think it'll help us build the Coach.me community. And frankly, I think it'll help us to give you an example of how to have more of these conversations that eventually lead
Hmm.
to coaching clients. So I'm going to share
For
again
sure.
on the Discord. See if we can get more folks back in the Discord. So the first thing I wanted to do is just give huge thanks to Nathan for joining us today.
Thank you.
Please
This is a lot
share.
of fun.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful to be a part of this. I mean, being a part of the Coach Me community for like, I think it's like 10 years now. Yeah. When Lyft switched over into coaching, that was when Kendra and I and a number of others started coaching on the platform, and it's changed my life. I mean, that sounds kind of cliche, but it really did. Like it put me in a position to just like, I was coaching on meditation at the time, because I had a 100-day streak on meditation when Lyft switched over to coaching, and I got invited by Tony to coach, and I just loved it. And in my profile, I shared a little bit about my own ADHD, and people started signing up for me with my meditation coaching, but always saying like, I have ADHD too. And I realized like, oh, like they connected with me. They didn't connect with the task necessarily only. And so keep that in mind too. Like, show your personality, show who you are in your profile, not just what you do, because like people book me all the time because I'm a nomad, because I'm a digital nomad. They want to understand what that's like. They want to live that life or something. And so the things that you love are also part of what connects you and helps you stand out. And so people booked me for meditation, but they really wanted to understand about meditation and ADHD. And that's when I started putting ADHD packages on my profile and started coaching people. And so like when I go back, I just did this like a couple of weeks ago, went back and read my testimonials again. And this is a really amazing part of the platform too. Is like just go back and read if you ever feel a little bit like unsure about what you're doing or what the difference you're making in the world, just go back and read your testimonials. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, like I think I have over 100 on Coach Me, and it's just like every one of them like connects to a person somewhere in their life that was looking for help and needed support, and they got some sort of support at a price that they could afford and make a difference. Some of them never had coaching before, which I think is really what made me excited about the Coach Me vision. It's like bringing coaching to people, everyday people, because that was never really made an option for us. And Tony was really pioneering that idea at the time. I mean, there's more platforms doing different stuff now, but I still feel like Coach Me has really tapped into the idea of like people helping people. It's not like certification is cool, and I'm glad we're doing that now. But like the more important part is one person is connecting with another person, getting help and getting support, and the coaching, how we do that is the certification, but not the credentials, not the important part. It's how we connect with people,
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So if you guys want to give props to Nathan, connect with him, let him know what he shared today that really resonated with you or something you'd love to know more about. We've created a thread in the Discord. So you'll go to the coaches forum, go to AMA September 1st with Nathan, and just put your comments in down here. I know he would appreciate that. So that's ask number one is connect with Nathan. Let him know how much we appreciate him. Okay, and then the second ask is to help us kick off a conversation that we're aiming to have on social media throughout the whole month of September, which is really to talk about the power of habits. And the first way that we're going to try to do that, in our spirit of experimenting, is we're going to pick a hashtag called Show Me Your Habits and encourage folks to post pictures of their habit dashboards and tell a little bit of a story of why their habits matter. So we need some initial folks to help share their dashboard pictures and a little bit of a story about it. If you're curious kind of what we're looking for, Kristen got us started last night where she shared hers,
Right.
and then a little bit of a story of why that's been powerful to her. So if you would just go in this thread and share your picture of your dashboard and a little bit of a story, we will use it in the next few days to really help kick off this conversation that we want to have. We also encourage you, give us your social media links. And I love it, Leo. Oh, that's gold right there. That is
That's a good
gold
one.
right there. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put this on screen. This might have just made my. This might have absolutely just made my day, Leo. This is
That's
good. You may
amazing.
see this as the headline of an article coming soon. I will absolutely give you credit.
Leo
This is
Leo has
fabulous.
two really good ones in there. The other one is I want to hire a coach to help me coach in the comment up above. So it's like this conversation has inspired that. And that's honestly, that's the Discord for you. Like we can't, I mean, obviously you can hire some coaches to help you with the process, but then, and actually I would encourage you to hire each other in the platform too, because there's a possibility there that you learn from each other, but also in the Discord, come and ask the questions. These same kind of things we're doing here, get them going in the Discord. Happy to jump in on those. And if anybody does have a VR headset, you make me happy by just going and booking that $1 trial and jump in, and we'll go in VR and have a conversation that way.
Love it. Love it. So my ask to close us out is we're going to be talking about Show Me Your Habits throughout the month of September, but we need some initial fuel to get us started. So go in, put us in the thread. I'm going to be launching it later today on the official channels. I'm going to do a Medium article talking about the power of our habits, why we're doing this challenge. And when you post it on your social media, it's the opportunity to have conversations with other people about why
Right.
habits matter, why you're intentional about this, and how you can help as a coach. So that's the goal. But if we've got to do a challenge
Great.
to get folks talking about it, then we're happy to do that as a platform. So that's my ask. Jump in, show me your habits, and help us starting later today, get some energy behind this. Really, it's a marketing campaign, a conversation campaign, really just to get those
Amazing.
coaching conversations moving forward. So, all right.
Amazing.
Wow, that hour just flew by, Nathan. I wasn't sure what to expect, but this exceeded all expectations for the conversation and
I
for the
had
chat
a great
for
time.
the
Thanks
chat.
for. Mm.
This is good.
Sure. Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks for organizing it and bringing this to the community, because I think this is great. I mean, this is a lot. I mean, this is an example of what I love about the Coach Me community right here in action, right? Like we do these same kind of things in the Discord. We do like I've had many conversations with different coaches, just connecting with each other. So this is a great example. People asking questions, we're answering them, and we're all going to learn from it, right? I already put a book on my to read list because of you, in this AMA today too, because I didn't know about that how to change books, so it's on my list now. And yeah, thanks everybody for the
uh,
comments in the chat. I wanted to engage in the chat, but I think it's good that I didn't have access to it, or I would have been so distracted by it. So thanks Kendra for bringing the questions forward. So
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's continue to make it a great day. Let's continue these conversations in Discord. Be sure and tell Nathan how much we appreciate him, and we'll see you guys online over the next few days. Thanks all.
thanks Kendra. Thanks everybody. Have a good one. I'm going to go do some coaching now. Gotta go.